It's Tuesday, April 11th. Time for the CBC Morning Report. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story at this time, an entrepreneur in the renewable energy field believes self-generating power systems are the way to go in our communities. Julian Clark, the founder of On Solar, believes critical services within households can be provided to clusters of homes for both primary and backup power off the grid. Mr. Clark told Morning Report the microgrids would be ideal for housing developments, which has land where the battery storage container could be placed and installed with the necessary security to protect it, along with a space to lay out the solar panels. The system would also generate billing based on use. Apart from the reducing of the carbon footprint, there also would be benefits for public and private businesses. You'll hear more about that a little later in the Morning Report. Policy shift in reporting COVID cases. That's next on Morning Report. Experiencing some technical challenges. Well, the Morning Report is receiving new information regarding a shift in policy as relates to the reporting of COVID-19 cases in Barbados. In an exclusive with CBC News, Chief Medical Officer Dr. the Most Honorable Kenneth George revealed the new approach being adopted by the Ministry of Health as it relates to tracking COVID.
We have been quietly moving to the place where that we don't need to document every case, and this is a shift. We don't necessarily need to document every case of COVID. What you need to do is to make sure you don't spread it, and therefore those measures still need to be maintained. But I think that from a polyclinic's perspective, if you have been exposed, we will give you a week away from work to make sure that you don't involve others. But the requirement to document every single case is probably not as great at the beginning and the middle pandemic as in the latter stages. We believe that the level of hospitalization is a good judge of what is the issues. Our occupancy rate at Harrison's Point is about 5 to 6%, and that has been for a while.
Dr. George has also revealed some changes in the national vaccine program.
We have transitioned the vaccine program to the polyclinics so that the polyclinics in your catchment are able to give it. We still have the national vaccination site remains Winston Scott. So we are able to deliver several vaccines from Winston Scott that are outside the normal vaccine scope. So we can give you vaccines for, let's say, if you're traveling and you need vaccines for yellow fever, that's available. And other rarer vaccines which you may not think of, we have them available at Winston Scott for very specific cases. But you can call your polyclinic and they will advise you as to which clinics are open.
And the United States is still assessing an apparent leak of documents containing U.S. military intelligence, which a Pentagon spokesman says could pose a very serious risk to their national security and lead to the spread of misinformation.
They're saying the documents were formatted in a similar fashion that goes to leaders when they give updates. Some of the images appear to have been altered, though. The U.S. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, was briefed about the leak on Friday. It could be the most damaging release of U.S. government information since the 2013 publication of thousands of documents by WikiLeaks.
We're taking this very, very seriously. There is no excuse for these kinds of documents to be in the public domain. They don't deserve to be in the public domain. They deserve to be protected. So we're going to get to the bottom of this, and then if there's actions that need to be taken as we learn more about the extent of what happened here, we'll obviously take those.
Well, what we've learned is that the president first himself learned about this late last week. And since then, there has been an around-the-clock effort to try and determine the scale and scope of just how vast this leak is in terms of just the distribution of information, where this is in terms of the leak and just how widespread it might be. What the Pentagon has determined from the leak itself is that this information tends to be the type of classified information that is typically distributed, as you mentioned, to the highest levels of the government in terms of security. What the spokesperson at the White House briefing, John Kirby, the national security spokesperson, mentioned, though, is that some of the documents appear to be altered. What he won't verify is whether or not some of these documents that have been put online are in fact authentic. What he will say is that there still is an ongoing process to look at the authenticity of the documents. What the big concern for the White House now is how this might impact the relationships of the United States moving forward. What this has exposed is some of the tradecraft of the United States, particularly when it comes to sources and methods. This has certainly upset some of their most important allies when it comes to South Korea, Israel, even Ukraine.
Definitely something major. Now, a break from the morning report to tell you about what's coming up on Morning Barbados. Today, we are talking pediatric care as Dr. Gillian Birchwood comes through to share with us. Also, we're telling you all about something fantastic, Pine Hill Adventureland Circus. And we have Dana Rock, Category Manager, Brood Portfolio, coming through to tell us all about that. It's coming to the Wilde, right here in Wilde, Pine Hills Adventureland, April 15th and 16th. We will tell you more and let you know how you can get involved with that. Plus the winner of our Easter Bonnet Parade, our Easter Bonnet competition, not parade, will be here with us, Beverly Harewood. She is our winner, and we are going to get her coming in, sharing how many likes she got and how she got into doing that. Barbados will be here. They're talking about free parenting seminars that will be coming up. Cicely Clark-Richmond, Director of Barbados, will be in with us, along with Donatel Cox, a parenting consultant. Plus, we're talking Community Crime Report. Charles Lewis, founder of a new initiative, will tell us exactly what that is and how you can get involved. More news, sports, and weather after the break.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.ve. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more.
Before the break, we told you that a local entrepreneur believes generating power systems is the way to go. Julian Clark joins us now live on the Morning Report to discuss the many benefits. Good morning to you, Mr. Clark.
Hi, good morning. to you.
All right, wonderful to have you with us. First of all, let's explain the concept of microgrid systems.
Great. Thank you very much again for having me here, and also all those who are listening. The microgrid is a simplified version of what we know as our utility grid. The difference is that our first redundancy and the impact on any possible loss of power can be almost eliminated. We say that because you can have multiple microgrids. If one grid should fail, grid A, for example, fail in a community, it's a group of homes, that community can actually tap into the neighboring grid. These microgrids are powered by both solar panels and lithium battery systems, powered by day and night. Wind turbines can be added as a result for continuous power. And that adds for the benefit of that security we're looking for. Families and groups and people within communities can invest through the collaborative support of credit unions and banks and loan agencies to invest and reduce the cost of the equipment, and thereby have a billing cycle, a billing system where you can actually charge corresponding neighborhoods as well for this microgrid. So look at it as a utility, but where people own their own grid system as a collective group with the support of the lending institutions, offering power to communities, and even government offices that nearby, other potential businesses who require some form of power for either continuous power or even backup power should those persons neighboring might be using utility power 100%.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. You know, you're having some technical challenges there. Hopefully the picture will come back up. We can still hear you, though.
Yes,
let's talk about the management then, Mr. Clark, about such systems. If they're micro systems that are managed in communities, how then do you see that they could be managed in these various communities? Would you have to have then companies, say, like your own on solar, come in to manage these microgrid systems?
This is the beauty of it. The system is a self-fulfilling system in that it will have the support of the communities that is, and you have individuals where on sort of a trained key persons, preferably both older and younger persons who are very, very passionate about solar energy and power. These become even micro schools within areas as well, managing the grids in their communities, with the on solar, of course, supplying the knowledge and the training courses throughout the entire island or islands, where that be, and having persons in groups having their own management team within their neighborhoods. That in itself can be a full-time job, because for the funds, the revenue that's generated from the microgrids from this group collective who invest in the system can in turn also pay those persons or within the same community to manage and oversight on those given grids. So we're looking at it from a standpoint of grids both close, which is locally, and even regionally. That way, one company does not have to be in that particular area or country to support the grid.
Now, Mr. Clark, we've talked about this numerous times before. A lot of people put in PV panels, but they don't consider storage, which is batteries. So even though you are harvesting the power, when we have a situation like we had over the past few days where electricity goes down, then you still do not have the necessary power to power the equipment in your home and to do the necessary things. So let's talk a bit about batteries. We're told they're very hard to come by. I know that in this instance, usually people look to lithium batteries. So how would these ones be protected?
I'm glad you asked that question. Now, I have an ongoing relationship with manufacturers in China. Okay, that country and the manufacturing level of lithium cannot compare to no other country worldwide. So a problem with lithium is not a problem with our company per se. We can get those batteries in abundance. We do bring them in abundance. We build the systems here. We actually build the cells. So the lithium, which can last between 12, 13, 15, even 15 years and longer, are the core storage technology used to store that energy for both later or immediate use as well. This inverter system is what connects to the solar panels now. the live power from that solar panel, from those solar panels, can be generated without even the use of the batteries in some cases. However, all works together. Now, I want to add one component here. The microgrid can use a third-party power generating sources as backup. This means that microgrid can be attached to a wind turbine, an external utility company as backup source of power, or any other third-party power source. There's no limitation to which that microgrid can keep itself resilient. And bear in mind that any implementation of microgrid will have all the necessary power, and cells are modular. One cell does not bring down all cells. So the system will not go down like that. So which means, and cells can be swapped and changed every 10 years. You don't have to change the entire battery system because we build them with cells, and cells can be taken out and replaced in real time without breaking down that system.
Okay, well, that sounds really interesting. Dollars and cents. Let's talk in terms of the cost savings and whether there could be cost savings in the short term. Quickly.
Well, let's bring back home to the microgrids and groups of individuals within neighborhoods investing through the credit unions, the banks, and so forth, or even using the funds collectively. Remember, when you do that, the cost of the hardware is dramatically reduced as much even to 15 to 20%. Now, when they collectively come together, let's say 15 homes as an example, using critical circuits. You have your refrigerator, your lights, your internet, your television, key critical circuits. 15 homes alone with a 25 kilowatt system can generate cost per se, that's around to 110,000 Barbados dollars. That's 15 homes with critical circuits. For those who want the luxuries of LED devices.
Mr. Clark, thank you. We're going to have to leave it there for today. That's okay. Thank you. We're going to have to leave it there for today. But lots of food for thought. We definitely thank you for sharing with us the idea of generating power systems on microgrids. Now on to sports. Barbados ended the 50th Carifta Track and Field Games in the Bahamas last evening with 11 medals, 2 gold, 16 silver and 3 bronze. Among the medals won during the final session, Nia Brown claimed a bronze in the under-20 girls 100-meter hurdles with a personal best time of 13.80 seconds. And now a look at our weather for today. The barometric pressure stands at 1013.7 millibars. It's a cool 24.8 degrees Celsius outside. It will feel like 78. It will feel, however, a little warmer as the humidity stands at 78%. The winds are blowing out of the east-southeast at 24 kilometers per hour. Sea conditions today, moderate in open water with swells peaking at 1.5 meters. And outlook for today coming up, but first, high tide will be around 24 minutes to 7, that's just in a bit, and the only low today at 27 minutes before 2 this afternoon. When you're heading out, it's going to be mostly sunny with a few brief isolated light showers. And this evening, mostly clear, again with a few brief isolated light showers, so make sure that you are prepared. Coming up, we have more news a little later at 7. We're going to give you an update, but you can check in at midday for the CBC News Day, plus join our stations 100.7 FM, 94.7 FM, and 98.1 The One for the CBC News World at 1. Morning Barbados is next.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you. It's Tuesday, April 11th. Good to have you with us on Morning Barbados after a long weekend. I most certainly hope that you had an opportunity to get some rest. I didn't, but I'm here with you, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready and roaring to go. I'm really excited to hear what you did this weekend because there was lots to do. There was a big concert at Kensington Oval. We also had the Oystins Fish Festival, 2 bumper crowds this weekend. So congrats to the organizers for that. But whatever you did this weekend, whether you got together with the family, went out for a little picnic, or you spent some time at home and got some rest, I'm hoping that you enjoyed your wonderful Easter weekend. So we have a great show planned for you today. Of course, we will be revealing our winner of our Easter bonnet competition. I almost said parade again. I don't know. I guess we're accustomed to talking about Easter bonnet parade, but the Easter bonnet competition. So we definitely are looking forward to having her come through and share that bonnet. Who knows? Maybe she's going to allow me to put the bonnet on. That might be the highlight of my day. Plus, we are talking Pine Hill Adventureland Circus. Sounds exciting, right? Absolutely. So Dana Rock, category manager, Brood Portfolio, she is going to be here to tell us all about Pine Hill Adventureland that is coming up next week or later this week. So we're going to share more about that on today's show. Plus, we are talking pediatric care with Dr. Gillian Birchwood, consultant pediatrician and neonatologist at the QEH, how to prepare for travel with children. That's very, very, very important, especially as we look to travel in 2023, considering that a lot of people have not been traveling over the last few years because of COVID, and maybe getting the children back out there, figuring out how you have to take care of them and things of that nature will be very, very important. I'm hoping today that we can play a game of Unscramble as well, because I know after a long weekend, most certainly for me, I need a little bit of a starter. So something to get the brains going again as you head on out into that traffic. It shouldn't be as bad today because the children are on holiday. I know how that goes. Some people take the time out to stay at home with the children as well. So for the little ones who are home today, a special good morning to you. And in fine parent style, let me tell you, don't just enjoy your video games and enjoy relaxing all day. Still make sure you look at your books. All right, so as we move on, we're going to jump into our very first interview today. And I'm really happy that we are back in studio because it has been quite some time. That's right, quite some time with us being in studio. So it's good to be back in studio. So what we're going to tell you about now is a wonderful initiative that came out of a pretty interesting situation. Now, we're told that Mr. Charles Lewis is founder of the Community Crime Report. And it's pretty intriguing how Mr. Lewis got into this initiative or thought about this initiative in the first place. So let's say good morning and welcome to Morning Barbados. Good morning, Mr. Lewis. All right, now when I saw just Charles Lewis, I did not know it was Mr. Charles D. Lewis. Now, let's see if we can get that handled. Just a few technical challenges. As I mentioned earlier this morning, that's been the case across the island as we had a series of mini outages all across the island all last week and into this week as well. So we certainly are battling with some challenges in studio, and I know some of you at home have been battling as well as we engaged with you over the weekend. And through this long weekend, there certainly have been challenges for all of us. So what we know is that Mr. Lewis has launched the Community Crime Report platform, and it was launched quite recently, and I think it's quite timely as well. So we definitely will get into that. So what we're going to do is come back here in studio, which is what I love to do. We've been away from the studio for quite some time, and it's wonderful to be back. And who better to join us than a lady whom I know and love and have grown to know for a long time. I love you too, but we're going to get to that. Cicely Clark-Richmond, Director of Barbados, is here with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Tisha.
So wonderful to see you always.
Of course, good to see
I'm
you.
behaving like I haven't seen you in a long time.
Exactly.
But it's good to see you, and most certainly so early in the morning.
Definitely.
And you brought along Donna Talcox, who is a parenting consultant. Good morning. I'm so happy to hear that there are parenting consultants out there. Before we jump into what is happening, I know that for a lot of parents, maybe parents like me, sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm failing. You know, what do I do? All right, so, you know, let's make some sense of it. So you're having 4 one-day free parenting seminars put on by Barbados, being conducted during the month of May. And we know that May is a very special month. So let me start with you, Cicely, to talk to us all about what you're doing this month and why you think is necessary at this time to conduct these seminars.
Oh, because a lot of parents out there are like you, help. I think that I'm failing, which is normal because parenting is the hardest job in the world, and we need all the help we can get. I wish I had the help available to me at the time when I was raising my 2 sons. But seriously though, looking at all of this happening in Barbados today, and it always comes back down to the parents. It starts there. You know, and people are complaining their children are doing this and doing that, and the household of what's happening at home is definitely not working. And it's not that you're necessarily doing all things bad, but you can always do things better. And we're here to help parents do things better because we cannot parent the children how we were parented back then. You know, I mean, things have changed, the children are different, and we have to realize that we need to do things differently. And we at Barbados wanted to do our part because we've been around for 50 years, and that is what we were created to do, help parents. So we sat down and say, look, we need to do something out there. Let's get out in the community some more. That's what we used to do in the past. And we want to get back in the community. So we have these 4 seminars in the month of May. And we have 4 different locations. You don't have to come to all 4. A couple people have said, I want to come to all 4, but you can actually just choose a location that is nearest you, that is comfortable for you, and come. We need you to register because obviously in terms of catering, because we're going to feed you as well. We're going to give you a prize, hopefully. Not everyone, but there'll be a prize available. So you have no excuse. You can decide which Saturday you want to come, which location you want to come. And we're going to be telling you, we're going to demonstrate, you're going to show you how you can first of all manage yourself, because that's where it all begins.
All right, so we're going to talk about those topics in a minute. That's what happens when you start an interview with a broadcaster.
Sorry.
But that's a good thing, so no complaints. So parenting consultancy, talk to me a little bit about that, because I would imagine it's not as straight-laced as you would imagine when you talk about parenting, because parenting can be such an individual, it is such an individual thing.
And it's something that evolves. You know, the person who has a toddler is different to the parent that has a middle school age child. It's different to the parent that has a teenager. It's different to the parent that has an adult child.
Tell me and my multiple personalities all about it.
Right, okay. So, and as Cicely has started saying as well, parenting in the 21st century is very different to the 20th and the 19th century. And we've got so many different things that impact on that key relationship between the parent and the child at all of these different stages of evolution that, you know, it's not a hit and miss anymore. We can't afford to hit and miss. We don't have as much support because the family has also evolved. So you've got more families where you've got the adults and the children, and you don't have that kind of support unless you pay for it. To have people watch your child when you have to go to work, watch your child when you need a break to go and do something that is pleasurable for yourself, okay? And as a parenting consultant, I also help parents through situations that happen, the breakup of relationships, change. We've got lots of families that come into Barbados, and getting used to this society it's one thing for an adult who has a job, but when that adult brings along their children, all right, and the dynamics change. So as a parenting consultant, I help parents through things like that.
Wow, any number of scenarios can be rolled out here. But the most important thing is you are working to help parents elevate their parenting skills and through these focus sessions. So there are a few areas that you will be covering in these 4 sessions over time. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to start with the first topic is managing yourself. And that's where it begins. You have to be able to manage yourself. Most of the time, as parents, you want to manage the child.
Must I, Cicely?
Of course you do. Yes.
Must I, Donna?
You need to know the difference between being angry and being hungry.
Must I manage myself?
No.
I'm just being sarcastic.
Definitely. So that's the first session, managing yourself, managing self. It starts there. And then after that, we're going to go into influencing your child. And then after that, we bring it all together, fostering a new family experience, and that's what Donna is going to be taking us through, and some other people.
And the new family experience is not necessarily a new family, but is how you're now going to interact. Now you are aware of these things. How are you going to interact with your child differently, in a better way, at all the different stages?
Yes.
Yeah, and then the interaction, again, such an individual thing, really differs as you engage with male children as compared to female children, as compared with if you have children who have maybe learning challenges or might have disabilities or what have you. So it's so different for each parent.
3.
That's right.
You know, we have the middle child syndrome.
I've seen it. I'm a last child, so I don't have that.
And I'm an only child. So yes.
And
I've seen that syndrome.
Yes, exactly.
So there are all those different things that play. And yes, you do have the gender, you know, people would treat a male child differently to they treat a female child. But these days in 21st century, you also have the child who believes that they're trapped in the wrong body. So it's all, with 21st century, we can't ignore things anymore. It is right there.
Right there.
And one thing that I always tell people is don't stick your head in the sand and bury it there, thinking that the issues will go away. They're here. Deal with them. So that's why we're starting with the self first.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Barbados is too small to deal with these issues, but we're part of the great big world, and we definitely have to take them on. All right, so tell us how we can register for these wonderful parenting sessions coming up.
www.paradise.org, or you can call us 427-0212 or 427-5373. Call us. But we want persons to be able to register as quickly as possible because places are filling up. We're catering, all the venues are large venues, so we're catering to at least, I would like to at least 50, 75 persons to be there. You know, it's all about relationship, and we need to understand, depending on the dynamics, of course, but the bottom line is a relationship with your child and with yourself, you know. So we want persons to just call. You know, if you have difficulty, maybe, you know, using a computer or whatever, but you still want to be there, call us and we will help you get there. Whichever venue is closest to you and you feel more comfortable being there, call and register. And or go online and register paradise.org.
And the other thing too is that it is specifically for you, the parent. But if you need to bring your child, please let us know in advance so that we can make provisions for your child, because we don't need the children knowing all of our secrets.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, no excuse. No excuse. Pick what's, you know, everybody's saying, well, I don't want to, I have to go to all 4. It says, no, you don't have to. It's the same subject, but if you want to, fine. But just pick one Saturday, the Saturday is convenient for you, and come. I guarantee you that your life is going to change, your relationship is going to change with yourself as well as with your children.
I can understand why people would say they want to come to all of them, because you feel like you don't want to miss anything.
Exactly. You know, and at first you got to get in, and you start to think, what did she say? I gotta come back again and hear that again, because you know, I missed something. You want to make sure you get all of it, and that's fine. That's not a problem.
Yeah. All right, wonderful stuff. Let's delve a little bit into the speakers. I know, Donna, you are going to be a part of the presentation party, but equally as important as what you're presenting on is who will be presenting. So let's talk about the presenters for the sessions.
Yes. Well, of course, we have Donna. We have Melina Simmons and Tony Olton there covering the emotional intelligence. And again, we start there. We have Reverend Harriet Small. She's a counselor. And Chernell Pyle, social worker, and Sergeant Hallam Jemmett. He is an officer with the juvenile liaison scheme, and these are all, well, the majority of them, except for Donna and Chernell, these are our parent classes facilitators. So they work with us on a continuous basis. They're always dealing with parents, so they know their stuff. They definitely know their stuff. They've been doing it for years, you know, with us. So these are the people that are going to be, you know, teaching you, helping you to understand yourself, understand your child, and fostering a new home environment, a new family experience.
I absolutely love that. Fostering a new home environment. A lot of people are saying that sounds like you're talking to me. So it's about elevating parenting skills with focus
Enhancing your
sessions,
parenting, yes.
managing self, influencing your child, fostering a new family experience. Saturday, May 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th from 8:30 to 5. It's like all day school. People were back to school for
And
parents.
the venues,
though.
the Solidarity House.
Yes.
The Courage and Parish School, the Glebe Community Center, and the the Ivan Harewood Center. So you have, all across Barbados, you have a place that's closest to you that you can choose.
All right, I want to thank you so much, Donna Tull, a parenting consultant, and of course, Cicely Clark Richmond, Director of Barbados. In this life, in a former life, the head of TV, program manager extraordinaire here at the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. All right, we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to try again with that technology. I'm feeling like a parent with this tech this morning. Maybe I need some tech classes or parenting classes for the tech, but we're going to try again to reach out to Mr. Lewis and see if we can get that interview up and running. Stay with me on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. It's the day after a long, long weekend. You had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, a 4-day weekend. We don't get them often, so I'm hoping that you had a good time and you got some rest in with all of the other things that you've been doing as well. A special good morning to the team here at CBC. I know you guys had a hectic weekend. Maybe you had some plans going on, but you most certainly had to come in with all the technical challenges that were going on. And there may be many companies across the island that have had similar challenges this weekend as well. So remember to show your gratitude to your colleagues as we go back into another short work week. All right, let's see if we can connect now with Charles Lewis. We had a few technical challenges a little bit earlier. There you are. Good morning, Charles. Good to see you.
Good morning, Tisha. Thank you for having me on your show.
All right, always great to see you. But let's talk a little bit about the Community Crime Report. Now, I'm told that you started this crime report platform after a pretty traumatic experience. So let's talk about that.
Yes, if I may share the backstory. On the 4th of March this year, I heard a noise at my door, but as you do when you're rather tired, you tend to dismiss it. Maybe it's a cat, maybe, And at 6, I got up and looked at my surveillance cameras, and lo and behold, I saw this young man who tried to break into my house but could not, and then decided to help himself to whatever he could find on my porch. Now, I called the police, obviously, and then I went to every single neighbor, knocked on the door, and I shared the video with them. And on the Monday, the same young man came through the neighborhood walking like nothing happened, and a neighbor recognized him, called me. I called the police again, and he was apprehended. He has since pleaded guilty to the crime, and also he had committed 7 other burglaries in the previous 2 weeks. Imagine that. And that is where the idea came from. The situation left me feeling quite violated, quite disturbed, and as a result I thought that with my knowledge of technology and my resources that I could start a platform to help people in the community or prevent them from having the same experience by inviting them to upload any criminal activity onto a platform. But the idea went from my community to all of Barbados, and now it's a global initiative where community members around the world, they can easily upload either by doing a selfie video about any criminal activity, or actually calling the local representative and explain what happened so that they can put it up for them. We will then share this information with all the members of the immediate community, the neighboring communities, and the wider audience who will be tuning into our platform. And equally as important, we're going to be sharing it with the police departments. We want to establish a strategic and sustainable collaboration with police departments around the world where they can use this effectively as a way of finding out what is going on, that things that they may not be aware of, as well as they themselves can publish reports on or tips or warnings on the platform for the benefit of the community members.
I'd first like to applaud you, Charles, because this is what truly is referred to as active citizenship. You were moved to action because of something that happened to you, and not just to sit back on a situation that had happened and perhaps say, you know, this happened to me. You reached out to the community, and for that reason you were able to solve it. Tell me about how you were able to kind of draw law enforcement in, because sometimes within our communities we don't feel like the relationship is there a lot of the times where we can have that type of relationship with law enforcement where information flows in both directions. So talk about how you have been working on building that relationship.
Well, of course, I called the police immediately, and they came, and I was invited to go to the station on the Monday after they had apprehended the perpetrator. And I decided to have a word with the Station Sergeant Lynch, and I shared my idea with him to launch the platform. He immediately recognized that it was, something that the police could use on a regular basis, and suggested that I send correspondence to the Commissioner of Police. I've done that. I've also written to commissioners of police across the entire Caribbean. I've written to police chiefs in the United States. I've written to police commissioners in the United Kingdom, and every one of them got back to me and said, very interesting proposal, we're going to discuss it and get back to you. So I expect that the relationship is going to be fostered with police departments insofar as using it to upload crime reports or to find out what crime is taking place that they may not be aware of.
I also like the idea that, I mentioned it briefly before about the information share, but via this platform, what you're hoping for is that these various policing entities or police forces across the island, across the region, across the world, also share information on your platform. Talk about that.
Sharing information is very critical, because imagine I shared it with all my neighbors, and as a result, that led to the quick apprehension of the young man. So sharing information is very important to quick apprehension. Awareness of crime is also very important, and it's important for them to be aware of what's going on, not only in your own community, but in other communities, because a person can commit a crime in St. Michael and then go to St. Philip and commit the same crime or yet another crime. So it's important that it is shared as widely as possible. When you register on the platform, which is free of charge, by the way, when something occurs and it's shared on the system, then you are given a notification immediately once you subscribe to the platform, and that is the way we share the information.
Now, one of the things that we always try to safeguard against is misinformation, but sometimes there are people actively engaged in sharing disinformation as well. So I would imagine through this registration process, you're actively working to vet those people who will be able to share on the platform?
We're not able to vet everyone. However, we are going to insist that they corroborate any report with video footage or photos, and also in most instances they will have made a report to the police. So we can probably, if we felt a need to, we can actually cross-check with police to see whether or not it is real information. Because there are many people who do stunts on the internet just to get likes and so on, and that is very important to us. But we will ban anyone from using the platform if they are caught sharing disinformation or misleading the public in any way. And if it is possible to prosecute them through the police department for doing so, we will also take that step.
All right, let's talk quickly about the website. The website is already live, is it?
It is live. This all happened so quickly, Tisha. It's unbelievable. I got robbed on the 4th, and 2 weeks later, I launched the website. So the website is communitycrimereport.com. I repeat, communitycrimereport.com. It is free of charge to register, and we invite all Barbadians to subscribe, everyone from across the Caribbean, because it's only with your participation and involvement that it will work the way it is supposed to.
All right, and I want to double back to where we started, and you mentioned it just now as well, almost in a lighthearted fashion, but you started by telling me that you really felt violated. So, to reinforce why you started this initiative, tell me about how you're doing now and how it really has changed your life since then, apart from launching this particular initiative. Well,
because he did not enter my property and I did not have any contact with him, it still left me feeling violated, because knowing that someone could have entered your home, imagine if I'd confronted him and then there was an altercation. God knows what that could have led to, and maybe I would not be here today to talk about this. But it made me feel a sense of responsibility to do something about it with my knowledge of technology. And here we are today talking to the world via your program about this innovative initiative that could certainly, assist police officers as well as the communities who participate.
It's now like bringing Community Watch online. So we've had neighborhood watches throughout the year, but now we're incorporating technology as well. So last word from you, Charles, to just encourage those who might be listening, who are watching across the world, as to why they should jump on board with your initiative.
Crime is a great concern for everyone, whether you're an individual or a business owner. And as a result, we need all of these these innovative programs like Neighborhood Watch and now Community Crime Report. It's important that you subscribe, and if there's a saying, if you see something, say something. And the police echo this all over the world. This is another opportunity to say something. This is a platform which is free of charge. It's easy to subscribe, and whether you are a victim or a witness to a crime, you can upload the information. You do it on Facebook, you do it on YouTube. Now you can do it on CCR, which is dedicated to crime, unlike Facebook, where you can see a crime report and next thing you see a pair of shoes being sold for $29.95 secondhand. Our platform is dedicated to crime.
Mr. Charles Lewis, founder of Community Crime Report, communitycrimereport.com. Go ahead and check it out and most certainly register. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, we're going to give you an update of the news in the CBC Morning Report. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
am Jaheem Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOFT. Project SOFT is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOFT definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOFT also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOFT, is the impact.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time now for an update of your news. New information reaching the CBC desk this morning regarding a shift in policy as it relates to reporting on COVID-19 cases in Barbados. In an exclusive with CBC News, Chief Medical Officer Dr. the Most Honourable Kenneth George revealed the new approach being adopted by the Ministry of Health as it relates to tracking COVID.
We have been quietly moving to the place where that we don't need to document every case. And this is a shift. We don't necessarily need to document every case of COVID. What you need to do is to make sure you don't spread it. And therefore those measures still need to be maintained. But I think that from a polyclinic's perspective, if you have been exposed, we will give you a week away from work to make sure that you don't involve others, but the requirement to document every single case is probably not as great at the beginning and the middle pandemic as in the latter stages. We believe that the level of hospitalization is a good judge of what is the issues. Our occupancy rate at Harrison's Point is about 5 to 6%, and that has been for a while.
Dr. George has also revealed some changes in the national vaccine program.
We have transitioned the vaccine program to the polyclinics so that the polyclinics in your catchment are able to give it. We still have the national vaccination site remains Winston Scott. So we are able to deliver several vaccines from Winston Scott that are outside the normal vaccine scope. So we can give you vaccines for, let's say, if you're traveling and you need vaccines for yellow fever, that's available. And other rarer vaccines that which you may not think of, we have them available at Winston Scott for very specific cases. But you can call your polyclinic and they will advise you as to which clinics are open.
And progress is being made in the land access issue at Joes River St. Joseph, first raised by residents just about 2 months ago after construction by a developer sparked some concern. That's the word from St. Joseph MP and Attorney General Dale Marshall, who tells CBC News that the issue is very close to settlement. He was speaking on the sidelines of the annual Paris Hill Big Kite event in St. Joseph.
We've had a number of meetings with the developer. I think the next step now is they've put forward a proposal. The community has to buy into it, but I think that there's an element of give and take on both sides. We value development, but we also have to value our heritage rights. And sometimes there's a challenge because the one seems often to be in conflict with the other. And I think that by reaching an amicable settlement with Joes River, with the Joes River developer, it'll demonstrate that, you know, progress and history don't have to be in conflict.
As a result, he says he is optimistic about the agreement and he hopes it will be reached soon.
I am to meet very shortly with the attorney now and the persons who were brave enough to stand up and say, I'm being counted and I'm willing to put down my name as a claimant in this case. and try to fine tune the details of the settlement. But I think it's largely, we're almost there.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mia Motley is going to be one of 3 eminent figures in the Caribbean selected to speak at the Institute of the Black World's 21st Century Conference 5 in the United States later this month. The other 2 being former Jamaica Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, as well as Prime Minister of Grenada Deacon Mitchell. Don Rojas, the Vincentian-born Director of Communications and International Relations for the New York-based Black Advocacy Group, says the 3 eminent figures will be featured at the conference in Baltimore, Maryland from April 19th to 23rd. Mr. Rojas says Ms. Motley has emerged as a major figure in the Caribbean, advocating for stronger ties with the African Union and a global emphasis on reparatory justice, with Africa playing a more active role. He also said at the conference Ms. Motley will be presented with the IBW Legacy Award for her historic role as the first woman Prime Minister of Barbados. Now, 4 vehicles and a nearby shop were damaged when gunmen descended on Flat Rock, St. George over the weekend. When CBC's videographer Chris Wood visited the scene yesterday, owners of the vehicles and neighbors were still assessing the damage. The owner of the shop, who gave his name as Luther, recounted the ordeal.
I just leave the gallery, renting the bed to lay down to watch a movie. And within 5 minutes, I hear pop, 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 pop. And when they look out through the bedroom window, I saw 2 men running going down the road. When they get down by Carnival House, and now they still shooting. I don't know who them is or where they shoot.
So you fear for this kind of thing because you got your business here, so your house can get killed?
Exactly, we got a lot of electricians about here already running up and down in the gap. You never know what can happen with the electricians running about. You got to be careful.
And that's an update on your news at 7. Remember, we have the CBC News Day coming at midday today, or you can log in and listen in to our stations, 98.1 The One, 94.7 FM, and Q100.7 FM for the CBC News World at 1.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I am Jaheem Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOF. Project SOF is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOF definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOF also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier, But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project Soft, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program. Recently, I went to one of these schools where I saw some of these students. And when they came to me, the effect, the impact that I got, because they said, Uncle Jaheem, you know, and to see that relationship still sticks with them, to see that they still remember everything because they were
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Step right up to the Pine Hills Adventureland, the ultimate family fun day at the Circus Gymnasium on April 15th and 16th. Get ready for a day of adventure, excitement, and non-stop fun for the whole family. Enjoy live performances from magicians, aerialists, and many more international circus acts. Don't miss out on the ultimate celebration of community, adventure, and the fun. Pine Hills Adventureland, April 15th and 16th, 2023.
Now you know why there's this big crazy grin on my face. Pine Hills Adventureland is coming up the 15th and 16th. It's been so long since I've heard about a circus in Barbados. It's wonderful to hear that you're back. Dana Rock Murray is here with us. She's category manager, Brood Portfolio, and you're just back from executing somewhere else, and we're ready for Barbados.
We are indeed.
So let's talk all about what we can expect at the Pine Hill Adventureland Circus.
Well, basically, just let me take you back a bit. Last year, we would have executed a fair, Pine Hill Dairy's first fair. And we thought to give back to the community, so this fair essentially was free. We had over 1,000 persons who attended, and it was well executed. Very good feedback. Patrons from neighboring communities, neighboring parishes requested that we do it at their location. However, this year we thought to make it bigger. So that is why we have the circus, which is now attached onto the theme park, which is what we call the fair. And we will have various acts. These acts originate from Cuba. They're called Circo Nacional de Cuba, and they go as far back as the 1800s. So this year I know persons are anticipating animals. Unfortunately, we're trying to keep in line with the Animal Rights Society by not bringing any animals. But it will be filled with loads of fun. We have jugglers, we have aerialists, we also have contortionists. This circus is something that I have never seen here in Barbados. So I am fully anticipating and expecting a really good turnout, loads of fun engagement with our Bajans who will be attending.
Let's talk about the days that it will be in action over at the Wilde Gymnasium. I'm this excited because, like I said, last time I saw Circus in Barbados, I was in single digits, girl. That means I wasn't 10. And that's quite a long time ago.
Yes.
So it is wonderful to see this. I remember we used to have all these awesome rides. I know it's going to be an exciting time, especially for the little ones.
Yes, we have 2 days packed with fun-filled activities. The Saturday, which is the 15th, we have 2 shows. The park opens from 12 noon, so persons can come on in, pay your $20 for an adult, $15 for kids. Kids under 4 are free. You enjoy the rides, the theme parks. The rides are not free. You would actually have to pay for the rides. Then at 2 p.m., we have the show, which is going to be on the inside of the gymnasium. That show is about 2 hours, with intermission included. After that show, persons, if they wish, or if they've missed out on the theme park, they can then go on over to the theme park. It's not mandatory. That's why we separated the prices, give persons the option to either go to the theme park or enjoy the circus. And then the final show is at 7 p.m. and we repeat it for the Sunday, which is the 16th.
All right, talk to us about some of those exciting rides that will be available in the park.
Yes, we have we decided to change it up a bit. Toddlers tend to be disadvantaged when they go to fairs because of the older kids. So we have a toddler zone, We have a preteen zone. We have an adult zone as well.
Yay, one for the adults. I was hoping for that.
We do. We've started to segment them to let everyone enjoy their own experience. So the toddlers will have loads of fun. We will have mechanical rides for them. We will have a toddler box. And the preteens will have those bigger rides. We'll also have the jumping tents, face painting. We have photo booths. And for the adults, you're looking at maybe karaoke, dominoes, some nostalgic things to let the adults also enjoy the outside of the theme park.
I.e., old people things to do. I'm kidding. All right, now you have, luckily, you've seen this before.
Yes, I have.
So talk to me about, what excited you about the other side of things, the circus side of things, some of the wonderful things about that made you excited.
It is the amazing talent that the Cuban nationals are bringing to us. They're so talented. There was this father and son duo that the dad, he just laid there, his feet up in the air, and the son is just doing some cartwheels on his legs, and I'm so amazed by that. They also had the aerialists. I've never seen an aerialist. We do have aerialists here. However, this one was a bit different. He's basically being lifted in the air. He's not hanging from the ceiling. He's being lifted in the air. And I don't want to give too much.
Don't give too much away.
Everyone to come and enjoy it.
You were serving my sister there for a moment because she tells out everything that happens in movies, and we don't want you to sell everything out. Just a little tease, so people can understand what's coming up. So let's talk prices again so that people understand. You're starting from 12 o'clock in the afternoon, so you don't have to all crowd there at one time. And then some of it will be inside, some of it will be outside. Let's talk the costs and how that will work.
Okay, so for the circus, which is the show, it is $20 for an adult, $15 for kids. Kids under 4 are free for both areas. Then there is the separate price of the theme park, which essentially what we call a fair. That is also $20 for an adult, $15 for kids. Children under 4 are free. Again, it's not mandatory. You don't have to do both, but we advise you to enjoy the entire experience of it all.
Absolutely. So experience it. And it's happening April 15th and 16th over at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium.
Yes,
I can just imagine what the setup out there will be like.
I'm very excited for it. We are giving our locals, our Bajans, Pine Hill is a Bajan brand. So we love to give our communities an experience so they can come in from the time they get out their vehicles, walk in, they'll see a difference of the gymnasium from the outside.
And I'm definitely happy to see Pine Hill out in the community.
Thank you.
As we've been supporting you for years, to see you out here and really working with the community to share all the wonderful products that you share through the shelf, but kind of lifting it just more or less off of the shelf and coming out and engaging with members of the community. Very, very important.
I also like to mention, we do have the 100% juice line as well. We have our apple, our orange juice, and pineapple. Fully 100%, no sugar, no preservatives added.
And I'm just going to say that maybe something's in my cup. Who knows? I was hiding it behind here, but I just had to bring that out, Dana, so that you can see 100% juice at a time like this, especially in talking about doing wonderful things for children. It's great that we're offering those alternatives when the conversation, the narrative is centering around moving away from too much sugar for the little ones, and most certainly for some people who might be a little older, not you and me, of course. I'm kidding. But just making healthier choices.
Correct.
It's wonderful that you have your 100%.
We do. We've had that line for even before I joined the company, well over 10 years. So that we're letting people know, we do have that alternative. So it's not always the quote unquote the sweet drinks that we often hear, but we do have the line of the 100% juices.
All right, so you definitely have to come out. Circus fun for everyone. The secret is definitely out that we are having the Pine Hill Adventureland coming up on April 15th and 16th over at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. Now, you have to make sure that you get on over there and get things done, because I know there's a lot of work to be done.
There's a lot.
But you're excited about it.
I am.
You should have seen how excited she was behind the scenes. So this is your last appeal to tell everybody why they must come out and be a part of the Pine Hill Adventureland Circus.
That is very easy. So basically, we haven't had any circus here in Barbados for many years. So we've decided to bring this circus to Barbados so us Bajans can, so this younger generation can experience something that we have experienced in our past.
Well, saying that, you've sold yourself out, because I know that you must be my age. If you remember a circus.
I did. I was
down Spring Garden, right?
Yes.
Used to be that ride, and I thought it was the biggest ride ever, that you would feel like, oh my God, you felt like you were going to go into the sea.
Yes, I remember.
And now when I look at those rides, I'm like, oh, come on. Like, people were on the rides, like, and stuff like that. But a lot of excitement.
We wouldn't have those big rides, though, but yes.
Yeah, but I mean, bringing back the nostalgia, a lot of excitement, just getting things to do with the children. There's not much out here to do with the children these days. I want to thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Dana Murray. Dana Rock Murray, I have to get the names right in the right order, but you are category manager, brood portfolio, etc., because here you are planning an event.
Yes.
So a special good morning to the entire Pine Hill family. Good to have you next door to us and doing an event next door to us as well. Make sure you go out April 15th, 16th. It's about Pine Hill Adventureland Circus. Make sure you go on out and be a part of it. Stay with us. Coming up next, we are taking in more nostalgia, looking back at Easter. We had an Easter bonnet competition, and the winner is in. Who knows? I might don that beautiful hat. That's all next. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you our
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And I told you I was going to put it on. Look at that. The winner of the bonnet parade. Let's get the kite in there. I had to come down so you could get the kite. See the kite flying? Look at that. A chattel house, and there are trees. There's somebody outside washing a car. I'm kidding. But look at that. How gorgeous is this? The winner of the CBC Easter bonnet competition. And now here I am donning it. I am equally as impressed with this as I am excited to wear it. So let me go right ahead and say good morning and welcome to you, Beverly Harewood, winner of our Easter bonnet competition.
Good morning.
What a wonderful piece.
Thank you.
How long did it take you to make this, Beverly?
A couple days. It may not look that way, but a couple days.
I can see in the detail. You know, they say the devil is in the detail. And just in case you can't see it, there's a white picket fence. I don't know if we can try to zoom in to see that. But we have some, as we would say in Barbados, rock stones. going around the white picket fence. I don't know if you can see that part, but some rocks going around the white picket fence. There are flowers outside. There's a breadfruit tree with breadfruits on it, plenty breadfruits.
Golden apples.
Those are golden apples? I thought they were breadfruits, and there I was getting excited for some breadfruit to cook. They're mangoes, though.
Yes, please.
Yes. So some good Bajan fruit in there. I see some beautiful looking flowers. Of course, chattel houses. There are children at play. There are two people riding their bikes. Someone flying a kite. It's just a gorgeous scene. There's someone fishing. There's so much to see here. There's a little girl playing some an authentically Barbadian game. So that is, what do you call it again?
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
Yes,
How did I forget that? I must be tired. Look at that. Look, a bus stop. How could you leave out the bus to city stop? You absolutely can't, right? Oh, it's an entire Barbadian community and on a hat. Now, your entry was number 7 and you got 376 likes for this one. Listen, paling and all.
And all.
At the back.
Clothes hanging on the line and all.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't miss anything. Tell me, first of all, what piqued your interest? What made you enter the competition?
Well, at first I wasn't going to enter, because when you see a competition that is based on likes, sometimes popularity overpowers creativity. So I wasn't sure if I was going to. But then it was like, man, no, I can try. And so the Monday, I built the hat, because I made the hat from scratch. I don't buy a hat and then decorate. So I made the hat and I covered it with the felt. And then it was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Am I going to do one scene or an entire scene? So my daughter was like, Mommy, you know you can do more than one scene, so just start the hat. Just to stop procrastinating and just start the hat. So then I divided the hat then into 4 to decide what I was going to put where. And I started off with the church. And
Victory Pentecostal.
That is actually where I went to church.
Wow.
Because my neighborhood is Chapman's Village in St. Thomas.
Wow.
And I started off with the church. I put it right on the top, and I put the house over to the left. And I remember my neighbor saying, well, Bev, you in already. It only had on those 2 things. And she was like, Bev, you in already. So I was like, all right. No, I'm not even going there. And then I started to add little bits and little bits and little bits. And then it was like, okay, I know exactly where I'm going with this now. And that is how the whole hat then came into place, basing it off of my memories growing up in Chapman's Village and some of the things we used to do. The guys used to go fishing, evening to go riding. We used to play hopscotch, marbles, you name it, we played it during the day. And then it became easier and easier after you know, you're working off your memories, so it makes it much easier then to just start to add these little tidbits.
But like I said, the detail is just phenomenal, because there are windows in the church, Victory Pentecostal, but there are also pews in the church.
Correct.
Yes?
I had to put those in first, and then glue the church on top of the base. Because there's no getting them through that door after I put it on. So I put those on first, and then I covered in with the building itself. The roof section, I cut that out so that I could fit the cross into that section as well. And the stairs are actually the foam that you buy when you're doing floral arrangements.
Okay.
That's what I used to make the stairs. And the rocks at the back,
where everybody's fishing, and somebody caught a big lobster.
That's a crayfish. So that's what the guys used to catch in the river. They used to catch crayfish.
That crayfish is real big, man.
Yeah, but I had to make it big so you could actually see it.
Listen to me. I get the fruit wrong. Calling golden apples breadfruit. Calling crayfish lobster.
But
all right, so maybe I need to change my thought. But I love that you called it the Easter Sunday in the village.
Correct.
And of course, based on things that you remember happening in your village growing up.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so that's absolutely wonderful.
Yes, we always had fun during that weekend. Even I went as far as to even pop one of the kites, which is something that used to always happen. You see the guys climbing looking for it.
Yep. He's trying to retrieve that kite.
Exactly.
Listen, one of the first places my eyes went on there was the electric pole. Turn it. I have one question for you. Is the electricity on?
I think we all wish. And this electricity pole is actually a glue stick.
Wow.
So I covered it with felt, and then the street light is a piece of wire I bent it and left a loop in it, and dropped the hot glue through there and just kept rolling it like that so it don't drop too deep. And that is what created the bulb on
Sturgis to your right.
That's right.
Chapman's Village
That's
to your
right.
left. So signposts as well. It just is phenomenal. You have animals, you have some dogs running around in the neighborhood.
Correct.
There are some children playing, you know,
Even
lots
this
of interaction.
little one that doesn't want to go to Sunday school. And his mom is saying, you know, you get up those
You have
stairs
to
to me.
go.
Yeah, correct is right.
Go to Sunday school. It truly is a Barbadian scene and all the things that remind us of our villages across
true.
Barbados. So, you know, I really want to say there could have been no better winner.
Thank you.
I absolutely love it. We saw some great presentations, but this one definitely tops it. And we want to thank you. So on behalf of the CBC team and of course Morning Barbados, we want to present you with a little something for all the work that you've done for winning the Easter bonnet competition. Thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I would like to thank everyone who voted for me, and I would also like to thank the sponsors. It was truly a pleasure making this, and I have something in the plans where this is concerned. I won't say too much right now because I have some people that I have to reach out to, but I hope that other people would, you know, pick this up and run with it, not just for Easter. It could be any time that you could do a hat parade. It doesn't have to be for Easter. As you can see, this is just Easter. This is life.
It is.
You know, so they could pick it up for any time, any moment. They could create their own event and have something like this going on.
Well, let me just tell you, the back kite is the kite that popped, by the way. So, you know, you might not want to get a back kite for the kids.
It's true.
But thank you so much, the winner of our Easter bonnet competition, Beverly Harewood, who came in to share with us this morning. What a wonderful presentation. How long did it take you to do again?
4 days.
4 days.
Because the entries were supposed to go in by the Friday. I made sure mine was in by the Thursday. I was not missing out.
That's definitely a labor of love. And the detail is what's phenomenal about it. You deserve every single like that you got for this.
Thank you.
And again, thank you on behalf of the entire CBC family for being a part of this competition.
You're most welcome.
All right, we're going to take a break here, and when we come on back, we have some more chat for you. We're going to be talking with Dr. Gillian Birchwood, and we are talking pediatric care. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, just about 24 minutes before 8 o'clock as we move along on this beautiful Tuesday morning. After a long weekend, it might take you a little while to warm yourself up back in the office, but certainly I'm hoping you didn't have too much traffic making your way around outside this morning. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know what you're doing, maybe having a cup of coffee or tea, whatever it is, maybe a big breakfast. Enjoy it from me as well. All right, so as we look towards summer, we know that a lot of people have not been traveling because of the pandemic, and now we are truly open again and we are moving forward. We're looking toward traveling. We want to get the children out, and in some instances we might have little ones who have not traveled before or who might be a little apprehensive about traveling. So we've asked Dr. Gillian Birchwood to come in this morning. She's a pediatrician and neonatologist, and she's going to be talking to us about getting the little ones ready for traveling again. So good morning to you, Dr. Birchwood.
Good morning, Tisha. I hope you had a restful weekend.
I didn't. How about you? How was yours?
I think I can answer the same. I had some work this weekend, so don't worry. I kept company with you then. Never mind.
All right, but you still look gorgeous, so no worries about that. Okay.
So
all right,
yes,
so let's talk about getting the little ones ready. First of all, how do you prep them? Some who might be a little bit nervous about getting on an airplane, or who might be a little bit nervous about getting on an airplane post-COVID or during COVID because it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yes. You know, travel can be such an enriching and a rewarding experience for children. You know, they learn about different cultures. They will meet family members perhaps that they haven't seen before. They will see things they haven't seen before, which is always a really wonderful thing. But at the same time, there may be certain things which may make parents apprehensive, and rightly so. So it is really important when you're traveling with children to plan, and prepare. You really do need to make sure things are in place to consider every possible eventuality so that you can have safe travel. So if you have older children, you can start by preparing them in advance and explaining what it's going to be like so that they are not overexcited or fearful. And be careful not to impose any fears that you may have on your children. A lot of us are nervous about getting on a plane, for example. You don't want your children to pick up on that vibe. So make sure that in advance you paint this as a very positive experience and let them know what they can expect. But there are a lot of things that you need to think about in terms of keeping your children safe when you are going on a trip.
Absolutely. So let's start with, the little ones. Sometimes they might have a little runny nose, or it might be something that you might not pay that much attention to. But when it comes to health and traveling, it might be something you need to pay attention to that you might not on a regular day at home. So, what are we looking out for health-wise in preparing to lift the kids off and take them other places?
Yes. Well, kids have a particular specialty for getting sick when they travel. Parents who travel with children know this, and tourists who bring their children into this country also know this. So, a little cold that you might decide that you're going to just watch and see what it's going to happen when you are in your own country, that can really be magnified when you travel. So one of the things that goes along, for example, with having a cold is that you may have congestion, not just in your nose, but also in the tube called the eustachian tube that connects the middle ear to the back of the throat. And when you are going on a plane and there's a change in cabin pressure as that plane is ascending and descending, that little mild congestion that doesn't really affect a child on the ground can really become much more significant. And there's a risk that a child can have really major pain. So if they have a mild cold or a mild ear infection, which would resolve on its own if you weren't planning to travel, you can really have a very uncomfortable child when you get on a plane. So you want to make sure that if you have a cold or an ear infection or a sinus problem going on, get to your doctor, get it cleared up so that you will not have that discomfort which so often happens. You can also encourage your child, if you have a baby, let them suck while they're taking off or landing. You can breastfeed or you can bottle feed them, whichever one you're accustomed to doing. For toddlers, you can get them to chew something, suck that pacifier. For older children, you might want to consider giving them gum to chew so that they are comfortable and you don't have a wailing and uncomfortable child with everyone looking at you and wishing that you could somehow make your child just be quiet as the plane is going up and coming down.
Dr. Birchwood, tell me, are there any other medical conditions that can make travel with little ones that much more difficult or risky?
Yes. If you have a really young newborn baby, in the first few weeks of life, you might want to avoid traveling because there's a really heightened risk that they could pick up an infectious disease, not just on the plane, but going through the airport. You know that there are going to be so many people around, and all those exposures can heighten the risk for a newborn baby. So you might want to consider delaying travel that is non-essential to when that child is a bit older and perhaps may have had their first vaccination. Now, on the other hand, if you've had a child who was premature, they may have had lung problems, for example, and not just premature children, but also children who have had heart conditions may be prone to having problems when they are at that altitude in the cabin. The oxygen levels can potentially be affected. So if you know you have a child with a chronic lung problem, I'm not talking about a child who just has a, asthma that is well controlled. I'm talking about children who have a major lung disease of some type, or a child who has a heart condition. You definitely should seek the advice of your physician before you get on that plane, because how they are responding when they're here on terra firma, here on the ground, might be quite different when they're up in the air. You have the changes in oxygen levels and the changes in cabin pressure. So newborn babies, babies who are premature, children who have lung conditions, and children who have heart conditions may be at higher risk for traveling. So you need to consider that very carefully.
What you should travel with. And usually when you go to other places, you don't have medication as readily available to you as you would at home with your pediatrician. Or, for some of us, we usually keep things like Histol and so on in the home for if, there's an incident with an allergy or if there's a little cold or what have you. But when you go to a different society, the medicines are going to be different. You might not be able to access the same medicines, because I know particularly in the US, there are lots of restrictions, particularly when it comes to medications, even decongestants. You can't walk in and just get a lot of them off of the shelf. So what should we be walking with in order to take care of the children?
Yes, you sound like someone who's experienced this sort of thing before.
I have.
You are absolutely correct. Yes. And children always seem to get sick at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it makes so much sense to walk with two main things. One is a first aid kit, because you don't want to be scrambling around. At home, you take it for granted. I have a Band-Aid, I have this, I have that. Walk with your first aid kit. It doesn't have to be a huge one. And the second thing is walk with medications. If your child is asthmatic, you don't want to take the chance and hope they don't have an asthmatic attack when they're going to a new destination. Walk with your inhalers, whatever medications your child normally takes. If they're diabetic, absolutely crucial. Any condition that your child normally has medications for, be sure to pack them. But in addition to that, as you suggested, you should walk with things for common illnesses so that you can deal with them with medications that you are familiar with. If you are traveling with a child, walk with something for the cold, your typical cough medicines that work for you, decongestant medications, either oral or nose drops, whatever works for your child. Carry medications for vomiting. And if they have diarrhea, for example, you want to make sure that you carry the basics so that at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can put your hands on something. And don't forget medications for fever. And you are very correct. Medications that we take for granted that we can access here are not available, or they're available on a very limited basis in other markets. So it makes so much sense to carry the medications with you that work for you and that your child tolerates well. Nobody wants to experiment at 1 o'clock in the morning with a new medication if your child is uncomfortable. So carry all of those things with you. Absolutely.
Now, I don't know if the viewers will agree with me on this one, but you'd have to tell me. Sometimes I do quite a bit of travel, and sometimes people have little ones and they're crying on the flight. And, you know, sometimes I feel so bad, one for the parent, two for the little one. And I'm wondering, you know, would you recommend giving them medication that would help them sleep throughout the flight instead of them being scared and so anxious?
You know, that's a great question, and it's so tempting. All of us who are parents know what it's like to have that crying child that, you know, somehow people expect you magically to press a mute button and then the child is quiet, and we all know that does not happen. But avoid the temptation to give your child medications to make them sleep. One group of medications that is very commonly used to make children sleepy are antihistamines. And really and truly, that can totally backfire on you. Antihistamines tend to make adults sleepy, but in children, it can have the paradoxical effect of making them agitated. So you might think you're doing your child a favor by giving them something to help them sleep, and instead you might have a wired toddler running up and down the plane aisles telling everybody hello. So you had better be very careful, or you might have that agitated, crying child. So really, it's a really bad idea to give medications to sleep. Pick a time of day that the child is more likely to be sleepy when you travel to make it easier for you, if that's possible.
Well, luckily right now I don't have to battle with the little ones. You definitely want to make sure that you pack a few things. You want to make sure you have a car seat available. In other places, it's not as easy to move around with children in vehicles as we can without car seats here in Barbados. So you want to bring their favorite toys. I would imagine, Dr. Birchwood, that's one of the things that might keep them comfortable. So let's explore a few more of the things we can do to keep them comfortable as we travel.
Yes. So, you know, sometimes your child has a favorite toy, that favorite blanket, and, you know, you go travel and you leave that behind. You're going to be in big trouble. Your child may not sleep if they don't have blankie with them. So make sure that you carry that comfort toy. It might be helpful on the plane. It might be helpful at your final destination. New toys can also help distract very busy children on a plane. So be sure to carry new toys in addition. The old toys might not prevent them from pulling the hair of whoever's in front of them. So make sure that you get some new toys to really keep them distracted. Another thing that I really want to look at is making sure that you check your child's vaccination status. Research the destination they're going to. Is there a measles outbreak there that you need to be aware of? You need to make certain that your child is not going to be put at risk. For example, if there is a measles outbreak, you can get a measles vaccination early for your child to protect them, because measles is extremely contagious. Are you going to a country where there is a lot of tuberculosis? Your child might need a vaccination for that. So it's really important to check your destination and see what special vaccination requirements there are. We're all familiar with COVID, but there certainly may be more. When your child is on the plane, to keep them comfortable, remember the plane can be cold. So you want to make sure you dress your child in layers, especially the smaller ones and the newborns. You want to dress them in layers so that they don't get cold. Or if it is warmer than you expect, you can take some of those layers off to keep them comfortable. And make sure that you bring their car seat, as you mentioned. Some car seats are also engineered for use on planes, and they help to keep the child safe when there's turbulence. So that's something that you would certainly want to think about. And definitely when you reach your destination, you will have a safe way of transporting your child around. So those are just some of the things that would be really helpful.
Yeah, that's important. And I wanted to ask you about having the children sit on your lap. I know they usually say 2 and under, they sit on your lap. But, you know, if you're going to put them in the booster seat, as you mentioned, that can help to keep them safe. And then you have a car seat once you transition to somewhere else. You know, so very interesting stuff. I know you mentioned pulling the person in front of you, pulling the hair of the person in front of you, but one thing the children will do, they're going to kick the back of the seat.
That's absolutely correct. There's nothing much you can do. When you have kids, what can you do?
That's the number one
you can
thing.
Apologize.
All right.
Keep them busy so they get into mischief.
Yeah, so as we wrap, you talked about walking with that, you know, your wonderful little safety kit with everything in it. So just remind everyone of what should be in that first aid kit that we're walking with.
Yes, so you want to have band-aids for boo-boos, which can be very dramatic at times. You want to have an antibiotic cream or ointment that's in there. You might want to have something to wrap around an injured joint, for example, until you're able to reach somewhere if the child needs to be seen in more detail. You're going to want to have something to clean cuts and bruises, like we walk around with our different anti-infective agents that have nice smells or perhaps don't sting. You may not want to consider alcohol because that stings. Keep that in your first aid kit. Keep a scissors as well in case things get caught into zippers and so on. It's really easy to remove those. So that's your first aid kit. Walk with medications for the cold, for coughs, for congestion, whether it's nose drops or oral medication. Walk with something for vomiting and diarrhea. Walk with something for fever and pain. And you should cover most of the types of emergencies that you are likely to get. And don't forget to carry your child's vaccination and health record because you never know when it's going to be needed when you travel.
Oh, wonderful. Some wonderful tips for us as we get ready for the summer. I know lots of parents will be heading out. So some great things to remember as we prepare for that holiday travel. Thank you so much, Dr. Birchwood.
Thank you, Tisha, for having me. Have a great day.
And you. Oh, those are some good tips for you to consider, not only for travel, if you're getting on an airplane, but if you're going to be driving around or taking the kids somewhere, you definitely want to make sure you're traveling with that, little kit with everything you need in there. You might want to be mindful about that scissors in your kit if you're traveling, if you're getting on a plane, because sometimes security at the airport can be very, very touchy about things like that. All right, so I think we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to play a wonderful game of Unscramble It as we wrap up the Easter holiday. That's a clue for you. Easter, unscramble it. What can the words be? That's all next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So I know that you had a great holiday weekend. I'm absolutely hoping against all odds. So maybe we can catch up now as you come on in and call me, and looking forward to hearing from you as we play a game of Unscramble It. Let me see if you can. Is Unscramble this? All right, now this one is super duper easy. I mean, come on, who doesn't know this? Come on, let me get my glasses. Let me see what's going on here. Call me on 228-5562, 228-5563, and unscramble this word. Remember, I gave you the biggest clue of all. Are you guys laughing at me and my glasses? Come on, they're horrible. No, they're not. All right, so 228-5562 or 228-5563. Give us a call here at CBC and see if you can unscramble this difficult word. Somebody's there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Keisha. At least I could get my cup of tea in the morning now.
I want to know if you have a special line to CBC, like you always get through first.
I people think I have quick there, but I know the line, I just have quick fingers like Muhammad Ali.
Let me tell you, I don't think he had quick fingers, but let's not talk about that. Can you unscramble the word is the big question.
I just called to tell, I didn't know what the word was. I just called to tell you that you could get my cup of tea in the morning.
Oh, thank you. I have my cup of tea too. How about that? Yeah? Well, thank you for calling. Try unscrambling the word anyway. I think this is easy. Yeah? No, I think he's gone already. All right, let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Barbados. Can you unscramble this?
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Where are you calling me from? This sounds like Mags. Is this Mags?
No, Marlene.
Okay, Marlene, that was close. All right, can you unscramble that word?
Church.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yep.
Yes, it is church.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Did you go to church this weekend? Oh, I think she's gone already. It is church. All right, so another word. Did you go to church this weekend? Oh man, she's gone. A lot of people went out to church this weekend. All right, here's another one. Oh my goodness, like this is too easy. Like you guys in the back, come on, give us a challenge. We have this already. Come on through. 228-5562, 228-5563. I know you can get this one. This is simple. I want to hear from somebody from St. Lucie or St. Andrew or St. Joseph. Yeah, you guys need to come on in. Don't let St. Michael win all the time. Let's see who is there on the telephone line ready to unscramble these two words. Yeah, and again, I mean, I gave you the ultimate clue. I told you it's all about Easter. Simple. Very, very simple. So come on through and unscramble the word. Let's see how the brain is working today. You know, sometimes they say after a long weekend, the brain doesn't work the way it should. So I'm getting you there. Good morning. Somebody is on the phone line. Hello. Welcome to Morning Barbados.
Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from St. George.
All right, St. George, that's good enough. All right, so can you unscramble the words?
Kite flying.
Kite flying, yay! That's absolutely correct. That one was pretty simple. Did you get out to do any kite flying this weekend is the big question. All right, so let's see this one. Listen, they're definitely playing with us this morning. So now there are 3 words. I definitely have to get the glasses on to see these letters a little bit better. All right, I'm thinking about it. I might need you to help me. I'm not sure I have that one yet.
A few moments later.
I'm over these sound effects. All right, so come on through 228-5562, 228-5563. I know you have the numbers, so call us and let's see who is there. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Keisha.
Good morning. Howdy do?
I'm pretty fine. And yourself?
I'm doing well, thanks. Where are you calling me from?
I'm calling you from my telephone.
Thank you. That was corny. You know, you should tell me I'm calling you from the cornfield.
Well, thanks for asking the question and giving the answer. I want to say to you though, you look as pretty as a kite this morning.
Oh, well, lost. I hope not a bat kite.
But I hope you're only pretty and not as noisy as some of the kites we have flying.
Listen, do not complain about the noise with the kites, all right? It's seasonal. All right, can you unscramble these 3 words?
Right, I'll unscramble the hot cross buns for you. But it's seasonal. I'll be having it all year.
You're definitely one of these people complaining about the kites. It's okay. Well, thank you so much. Good job. Definitely hot cross buns. Oh, I want to thank you for those of you who got through to play. If you didn't, we're going to have more opportunities for you later. Coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, we're going to be talking about healthier options, but made easier in terms of cost. That's all tomorrow. Thank you on behalf of all the crew. Do have a wonderful day today, and do remember to wear your smiles. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.